everybody. Welcome to Ask Muneeza, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Good morning, Instagram. Live on Instagram doing Ask Muneeza. I'm Muneeza Ahmed, intuitive medicine woman. Um, super excited to connect with all of you to do our weekly Q&A. It's slightly earlier today because I am traveling, not going to be around. So I'm doing it earlier so we don't miss out on our amazing, fun Q&A that we love doing with all of you. So yeah, I got a bunch of questions. I'm going to start getting into them. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I know some people are in different time zones. Emotional Healing. Hey, how are you? Christy Barkley, good morning. It's earlier today. Yes, it is. So I'm going to be away this afternoon. That's why I'm doing it earlier in the day. Good morning, Lynn Western. Nice to see you on YouTube. All right. So going to get into the questions that were submitted. There were a lot of them, which is kind of fun. And I'm going to start with that now. So Lulu725211 asks, please give detailed advice about pelvic floor prolapse. I already take the supplements you suggested. What detail would you like? So basically, Live, Learn, Laugh asks, are you going someplace fun? I am going someplace fun for me. I'll share more about it as I travel. So what I'd like to share about pelvic floor prolapses often happen to women who have had pregnancies and who have given birth to children. So if you've given birth vaginally, that's often more likely for that type of woman to have a prolapse, whether it's rectal, vaginal, etc., pelvic floor. Um, and it's an issue, a problem of connective tissue becoming weaker, and the fascia, that fascia is the membranes that hold your organs in place, becoming weaker. So then they're not holding as well and they let go, and that's when you can have a prolapse situation happen. And how to heal that is to actually start to clean up the body, because the tissues of the body have got heavy metals and poisons and toxins in them that are making them weaker. And so there isn't one protocol given for it, but if you understand how prolapse works and how it happens, you can actually take the tools and take the foods and cleansing protocols to help you get there. Supplements are only a part of it, and I actually think that supplements don't work alone to help a prolapse situation heal. You have to get into the foods in much more depth. You have to be able to, like, for example, using aloe, using silica, using nettle leaf, not just a tincture, but the teas and the infusions are super helpful to get more, um, like for example, kale is amazing for connective tissue problems and helps to rebuild connective tissue. So you have to go deeper with the foods to understand how to correct this problem, because it's not one that is simple or easy. Other problems that connect our connective tissue problems are also um, hernias and aneurysms as well. They all have slightly different reasons why they happen, but connective tissue being weak is one of them. So Sani Fruit Sugar says, why is it hard for women to eat healing foods in their first trimester? It doesn't have to be first trimester. Some women have struggled with healing foods throughout their pregnancy. So often it's the healing foods are hard because even the tiniest presence of a baby or growth of a baby in the womb will start to press on nerves that are not like your normal. It will start to press on nerves. They'll start to push on nerves, and if your nerves are swollen, inflamed, or slightly sensitive, then even the slightest pressure on the nerve, especially the vagus nerve, can create nausea. And so, because of that, it can be really hard to take in more healing foods. Plus, you lose 50% of your immune system when you're pregnant, which goes to protecting the baby and the growth of a child. So, that causes you to lose, um, the protection you have against the viruses that are already in your body, and what can cause you to start um, growing a little bit of your viral load can grow because of that. Um, okay, so I hope that that makes sense, and I hope that is a good explanation. So, bedwetting in children, Soul Healing Catherine says, bedwetting in children is caused by an overactive bladder, strep, or something else. So, it can have two causes, and strep in the bladder is definitely one of them, which can cause bedwetting. But in older children, say they're 9, 10, 11 years old, or even teenagers, if they are still bedwetting, it's often also more toxic heavy metals that are in the pathway of the nerve that give you the signal to hold your pee in at night. So that's an important piece to be aware of. Um, so Lena Strider says, is potassium alum, the crystal deodorant, safe? If so, how? I thought all aluminium was bad. So actually, it's not aluminium per se in the form of aluminium that's toxic. So you can actually have forms of metal that are less toxic and some that are more toxic. So aluminium, or aluminum, as people like to say, so here in the US, and I sometimes say too. But um, aluminium is in a pan in that shiny metal foil. That's super toxic. That's a toxic heavy metal form of it. And sometimes you can have metals that are in mineral forms like zinc or silver that are not toxic, right? But it's a very tricky area of science. It's very misunderstood. So potassium alum is completely safe and completely fine. Okay, so Eva Anna says, could higher amounts of iodine, around 6 drops daily, or uva ursi, which is a Ayurvedic formulation herb, decrease iron absorption? I can say for sure that iodine does not decrease iron absorption. I am not aware that uva ursi would do that. I have studied Ayurveda, so I've never heard of that. But I'm pretty sure iodine does not do that at all. Sharon Shervanita says, is it worth getting a mouth guard, or better enough to address the cause? Hmm. Not sure what cause you're talking about, Shervanita. So if you want to come on and you're watching and you want to tell me, then let me know. Hey to Cara Sailor um, on YouTube, and Roni, hi guys on YouTube. Doxy Louver says, I'm trying to reduce the chemicals I put on my body. What brands of makeup that are cleaner I could use? So, for example, people love 100% Pure as a brand of makeup, and I don't love them because like their eyeliner contains canola oil in it. Who wants to put that in their eye? And their lipsticks all have flavors in them. So you'd be eating that, which you don't want. So there's all makeup, by the way, because all pigmentation, even when it's as natural as can be, is going to contain metals in it, toxic heavy metals. So, like eyeliner contains iron oxide, which is what makes it black. So, you can use something that's pure iron oxide and as clean as possible, but you're still going to be dealing with some metals. Every single foundation color, rouge color, blush color, lipstick color, eyeshadow color all contain pigments of different types of metallic compounds. So just be aware that that's what you're going to be subject to if you're using makeup. I use makeup not every day, but I use it sometimes. And I think it's fine because I do advanced heavy metal detox every day. I do a lot of things that, clean up my body as well. So I'm okay with that. right? So if you're okay with that, then you can do that as well. Um, Other cleaner brands are Jane Iredale are cleaner, and RMS Beauty are cleaner. But you have to read the ingredients every single time to make sure that there's nothing else in there that could be really bad, right? So Francie Hall says, I take antidepressants. What can I do to quickly get rid of chemicals associated with it? So if you take antidepressants and you're taking them every day, I would do the pharmaceutical exposure shot by medical medium in from his Brain Saver books. And if you go to his Instagram, you can find the recipe for this in there as well. He has a recipe of all his 30 brain shots on his Instagram. So coming into our Instagram feed here, um, welcome to all of you. We're doing our weekly Q&A. Often happens at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. It's happening at 11 o'clock today because I'm actually going away. So I'm excited to do this and then go away. So Colleen is saying, I'm hearing so much about black seed cumin oil. Colleen, I come from the culture that black seed cumin oil hails from. It's an Islamic tradition, actually, black seed cumin oil. And it is said that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that this is a cure for all diseases except death. So it hails from that culture. I grew up with it. My family has black seed cumin oil every day. My mom she's made it for me, given it to me. I've had it. And I really don't think it has the power of like celery juice or the power of like the heavy metal detox smoothie or the power of wild blueberries or the power of B12. I don't believe it has those powers. And for curing all diseases except death, I've known people who've taken it for years and not much changed. I'm just saying, like we have to be critical thinkers when it comes to those things. So I hope that that helps you understand that a little better. So my healing journey says, I was wondering if negative thoughts by a cook affect food and what could help with this. I know some religions offer the food to light and lighter consciousness before eating. Yeah, I think that if you're interacting with anything, any creation from a person who is negative, their energy is going to be in that creation, whether it's food or whether it's art or whether it's music or whether it's anything else that you come across, right? Any other creation. So, um, yeah, I do think who we are, but you could have a person who has negative thoughts, but they prepare their food with love. Say somebody has negative thoughts because they're depressed. Say someone has negative thoughts because they're struggling with PTSD, right? But when they prepare food, they prepare it with love and they prepare it with good intentions. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think that is an issue, really. Um, Gail Dercole says, can you recommend a practitioner in northern New Jersey? Like you mean a doctor? I don't know someone specific who can support you in northern New Jersey. Um, can wheatgrass juice powder be used in brain shots? I don't know if that's okay because it's very hard to find clean wheatgrass. So I'm not sure about the answer to that question. What brand of selenium can I take? Yeah, I would go with the older brand that was recommended, which is Pure Encapsulations. So yeah. Christy Barkley says, I used black seed oil for a while and noticed zero difference except my pocketbook. Yep, basically that's what I have also witnessed. And that's not to criticize anyone. It's just like sharing a result, right? The result did nothing. Can I recommend a dentist in Connecticut? Yes. So there is a holistic dentist in Connecticut. If you go to Anthony's YouTube channel, you can watch his live that he did with two dentists who run an office in Connecticut, in Westport, actually. And you can go watch that and get their names from there and go book an appointment to go see them. They're great. Okay, so an MM practitioner in Wisconsin. Don't know of anybody in Wisconsin. I'm sorry. Um, so coming into questions that are showing up on YouTube, Healing with Anya says, "What causes black spots?" Wait, your question disappeared. On the white of the eye. I'm not sure, but it could be other poisons, toxins. It could be heavy metals. It could be a bunch of different things. So it depends on what kind of spots they are, where they are, how big they are, how they're showing up. It could be so many variations on that. So B. Dutton 3, first time listener, thank you for being here. Ask a question if you have one. All right, so next question is, what helps with rheumatoid arthritis? What helps with rheumatoid arthritis? My father had rheumatoid arthritis, and he has been helped by all of the medical medium protocols. If you go to the revised and expanded medical medium book, which is the blue one with the lungs on it, there's a whole chapter on rheumatoid arthritis in there. And you want to bring in the core 7, the core 7 being B12, zinc, micro C, lysine, cat's gall, lemon balm, licorice root, and then you want to bring in NAC, nettle leaf, curcumin, MSM. They all help. But also cleaning up your diet is really important with arthritis. You've got to get rid of a lot of the poisons. You've got to get rid of coffee and vinegar and acidic foods. And you got to lower your meat to be able to heal from, rheumatoid arthritis. It makes the body far too acidic and makes the joints hurt more. My father definitely had that experience. So, I think that is important as well. So Healing Teresa says, which local anesthesia for getting caries removed would you recommend, and which fillings are the best? So we're going to share a blog post with you that is basically I have 2 blog posts on dental health, and I have 1 blog post on the adrenal effects of surgery. And in there, we explain how to prepare for something like that, what to look out for. I don't have, nowadays they're doing fillings, but this fillings and the technology around fillings is changing all the time and getting better. So you have to ask your doctor for like the latest ones. Can you do brain shots on a mono cleanse? Yes, you can. So Louisa, if you're able to share the link to the surgery blog and the dental blogs, that would be awesome. Okay, so next question is, there's so many questions coming at me. You guys are awesome. I'm going to go back to our originally submitted questions on our thread. So tips on getting my period back. So tips on getting the reason a period disappears, art, photography, nature, is because you're too viral. There's a virus in the reproductive system, often EBV, that will cause you to lose your period. So you want to tackle that. The core 7, like I mentioned already, B12, zinc, micro C, lysine, cat's gall, lemon balm, licorice root, are super helpful for that. And then bringing in nettle leaf, vitex berry, schizandra berry, nettle leaf tincture and infusion, or the tea, red raspberry leaf. This is really, really helpful as well. What causes mucus in the morning is strep. Got a lot of strep overgrowth. Will scar tissue protocol get rid of endometriosis adhesions plus sweet potato daily? Yes, it will really help healing with Spirit 144. Severe gut issues, but the skin is nice and clean. Why no dermatoxins? Maybe you don't have the exact combination of EBV and the specific metals or poisons it likes to eat in order to create dermatoxins. Maybe you just have pathogens that are creating those gut issues. So, do you suggest dental cleaning for kids every 6 months? And how do I find an dentist? We have an dentist, Anna Coven. She's in Long Island, I believe. We have an dentist in Connecticut. And we have an dentist, Amy, and I can't remember her last name, in Montana. At least she used to be in Montana. So there's 3 dentists who are really friendly that I'm aware of. And there's another dentist I know in South Africa, but she's in South Africa, so you know, not going to be able to help you there. MMDRS says vitamin D for breast babies. Should we be giving them breastfed babies? Should we be giving it to them daily? No, you don't need to supplement a breastfed baby. They'll get everything they need from mom's milk, so you don't need to supplement that one. If you have to supplement something for breastfed babies, is B12 and zinc. All right. So MMDR says do HMDS and CC cleaner through breast milk, or does it just clean the milk itself? Or CJ, clean through the. Okay, so yeah, no, heavy metal detox and celery juice clean your breast milk. Actually, clean your breast milk. Lisa Fashionista, do you have the Core 7 on your blog? It's coming. So many people ask me about it, and so it's coming. So, um, so when do we stop taking Vitex Berry? Like, you don't want to overdo Vitex Berry. Vitex Berry can, if you're missing a period, Vitex Berry can help you get your period back. So if you have your period back, you don't want to overdo Vitex Berry. You want to do less of it. Could you please tell us how many grams are 1 cup of cilantro and 1 cup of parsley approximately? Sorry, Alexander Friedman, I don't know the answer to that exactly. I have never measured 1 cup. So maybe somebody here has measured 1 cup and they know the answer to that question. But I would imagine that 1 cup of cilantro and 1 cup of parsley will vary in weight depending on how water laden the the parsley and cilantro is. So if you got wilted parsley and cilantro in 1 cup, it would be lighter. And if you had really fresh ones, it would be heavier because it has more water in it. But the volume would stay the same, or the volume could be a little bit more, but or a little bit less, and the water could shift that. So I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so what causes teeth sensitivity? I have trouble having a spoon of honey, but didn't before. So teeth sensitivity can happen because you have sensitive nerves in the gum line, and that can happen because of shingles. Often shingles can do that. Yeah, but a combination of viruses can also do that. Okay, so what do you think about plantains? I think they're awesome as a fruit. Make sure they're ripe though. They have to be really, really ripe and almost going black on the outside for them to be ripe. Cause of loss of bladder control, especially while cleansing, that's very likely to do with strep. Okay, so our next question is how can we increase vitamin D levels? Vimergy makes a vitamin D supplement which you can take, but you don't want to take more than 1,000 at a time. He wrote this. Medical Medium talked about this in the liver book. You don't want to take more than 1,000 milligrams at a time, or 1,000 IU's. That's international units at a time, because the liver then, if you take too much vitamin D, the liver will then dump out all its natural vitamin D that it's collected, which you actually need. So you don't want to take too much. And cleaning up your liver is a great way to increase your vitamin D levels. So our next question is from Christina, and she says, wonder if Sharon met get a night guard as recommended by dentists to prevent teeth wear from grinding. Yeah, I think yes. So if you want to get a night guard is helpful. Yes, for sure. Um, okay, next question. All the love from Italy. We need more information on supplements here. Well, Benedetta, you just joined Rise Up, and there's a whole bunch of education coming your way on supplements in Rise Up. So if you're interested in Rise Up and you're interested in doing a practitioner level course, we just have literally a couple of more spots left. So if you're interested, then go on to the website and apply. Okay, so top supplements and foods for healing bladder lining from interstitial cystitis. So, interstitial cystitis, people often struggle with vitamin C because it can burn the bladder. So, I would say that you want to bring in more vitamin C from, say, tomatoes if you can handle them. Fennel has a special vitamin C in it. Rose hips has special vitamin C in it. So, that's helpful. Asparagus, doing a bunch of asparagus, juicing it every day for 30 days is super helpful. Arugula is helpful, and all of that is super helpful as well. Yeah. So, Karasilar says, "Is fluoride in the if fluoride is in the water, can it absorb into your body in a bath or a shower?" Yes, it can. Yes, it can. All right, next question. Let's go to our submitted questions. Um, Cause of frequent urination. I go and then 5 minutes can go again. That's often with strep in the bladder. Undigested milk and baby poop. Is it normal? Otherwise, very healthy baby. How would you see undigested milk? Because it's very hard to tell that there's undigested milk. I've wiped the poop of, like, I don't know, like maybe 20 babies, because my cousins, I used to take care of my cousins, my sisters, my kids, my nephews, and I've never seen undigested milk in in babies' guts because breast milk, is the most digestible food that exists on the planet, human breast milk. So, unless you're talking about formula, but I'm pretty sure that you don't see undigested milk. It might be mucus that you're seeing or something else. Joanna Daisy May says, my 16-year-old son eats candy. Does that feed pathogens? So it depends on the ingredients of the candy. You can find cleaner candy as well. But yes, so if you have, say, natural flavors in the candy, and nearly all of them have artificial flavors, natural flavors, artificial color, they often have citric acid, they can have all kinds of different ingredients. And so a lot of it's pretty gunky. If it has milk in it, if it has chocolate in it, if it has dairy, it could have gluten in it. It can have all kinds of things that are in candy, and that would feed the bugs for sure. Why don't you educate him? I think educating children is the most important way to go, you know? So, can you use store bought orange juice for heavy metal detox, or does it need to be fresh? Um, if you cannot use juice, like just throw in two peeled oranges, that's better than store bought juice. Chandra Kavana, how many tablespoons of spirulina should one take to get their minerals for the day? At least a teaspoon a day is good. More if you can would be, yeah, 2 teaspoons if you can get there, but at least a teaspoon. Natural rubber gloves for the kitchen, are they safe and non toxic? Yes, they often are. Is HPV a herpetic virus like EBV? Yes, it's a herpetic virus. Um, all about the Harwoods is, can biliary reflux be cured through diet, not medication? Yes, pretty much only diet will resolve it. Medication will only keep the symptoms down for a while, but it won't resolve it. Recommended vitamin K to prevent brain bleeds. How to prevent this naturally? Peppa with Anna. Um, it's a kind of myth, but people make cases for it. You can give your child oral vitamin K if you're concerned. Is available in drops. So you could do that. What do I use if I tear naturally or have an episiotomy? Um, I would do on my Amazon store. We have um, a herbal bath for new mothers that you can put into the bath, which I use for my babies when I gave birth to them. And it heals up down there pretty well. It's got calendula in it, motherwort in it, and some other herbs in it that are really helpful to put in the bathtub. Silica is really helpful, nettle leaf is really helpful, and aloe is really helpful. So lots of questions about like incontinence and strep in the bladder. And I know somebody just asked, how do you get strep out of the bladder? Um, and somebody asked about interstitial cystitis. So let's go through it in depth. I'm going to answer this question. So everybody who's got a strep question, bladder question, incontinence question, who's got a interstitial cystitis question, you've got an overactive bladder question, UTI question. This is for all of you who are asking these questions. I'm going to go through in depth all of the supplements and um, all of the aspects of how to heal this. Okay, so you can problems in the bladder are caused by either strep or E. coli. E. coli will give you a UTI most often, but strep can hang out there and give you like a leaky bladder or an overactive bladder or bedwetting, which isn't technically a UTI, but it can cause those kinds of problems and also contributes to interstitial cystitis. So basically you have to strengthen your immune system, you have to strengthen your um, you have to build the immune system. So to build the immune system, you have to take the core 7. You have to do the core 7, which is zinc, B12, micro C, lysine, cat's claw, lemon balm, licorice root. And you might be wondering, well, lysine is antiviral, because often when you have a UTI or you have bladder issues, there's often also EBV in that part. So if you have referred to, say, the Cleanse to Heal book, and you look up the root cause in there of overactive bladder, um, he says that you definitely have strep in there. You can definitely have any varieties of streptococcus bacteria, but also a low grade viral infection is often present, and a combination of the two is often present. So you have to remember that when it's not just a UTI. A UTI alone, acute, you go peeing a lot, you're running a fever, and you've got an acute infection, that's often viral, strep and bacterial. But when you have these longer lasting issues, there's also a viral component that can be in there as well. So you want to know which foods feed bacteria and fungus, and you want to eliminate those like eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola, coffee, vinegar, grain is not helpful when you are dealing with these issues. So, um, you want to also then focus on repairing any damage caused by these bacteria, because they can leave lesions and scar tissue inside, which is what interstitial cystitis is. It's scar tissue on the inside of the bladder. It can get rough, it can get mildly scarred. You want to really avoid the gluten. You have to be really clear with your diet if you're dealing with these issues. All right, so foods that are helpful for these issues include pomegranates. They mend the walls of the bladder, although it might burn a little, but it's still helpful. Wild blueberries, cucumber juice, which is really great, berries of all kinds, garlic, red, purple, black grapes, arugula, which he says is amazing for UTIs, lettuce, spinach, asparagus is a secret weapon against all bladder issues, which I mentioned before, kiwis, thyme tea, ginger water, and also like in terms of supplements, you grape seed extract can be good. He used to recommend it by BMI Nutrition. Um, Elderberry tea, nettle leaf tea, cranberry extract, also, there's tablets of cranberry on the medical medium supplement page. D mannose is very, very helpful for bladder issues. Ester C, if you can, or micro C, if you can handle it, is good. People with interstitial cystitis often cannot handle the vitamin C because it burns, but if you can handle it, then take it. And then yeah, and these are all the ways to heal a bladder issue. So I hope that I've answered that question, because many people have asked this question today. So hopefully we've been able to respond and give you good answers and support for that. All right, so is a water softener system safe for skin? It depends what they're using to soften it. So, okay. So it depends on the basically what's going in there, right? So, what causes joints to lock and get stuck in place? You can have a viral condition and or too acidic. So these are the two root causes of that. So somebody else asked how to regenerate enamel. My dentist told me it's lemon and possibly acid reflux that made my enamel become this bad. He's right that it's reflux, so acid that comes up from the gut at night, even sometimes during the day. If you have reflux during the day, will come up and can cause cavities. It can weaken enamel. It can cause receding gums. But it's not the lemon water. So lemon water is not the cause, acid is the cause. The acid that's in lemon, the moment it touches your mouth and goes into your body, it turns into alkaline, right? It's not acidic when it's in your body. So it's not the problem. Also, Medical Medium has a podcast on Apple Podcasts that talks about lemon water and how it's actually good for you and why it doesn't cause teeth problems. If you want to go back and listen to that, and also he has a blog, he has a podcast on dental and teeth issues. So I would go listen to that as well. So somebody else says, Erica says that recently I've had bad heartburn and acid reflux. What supplements would help to reduce? So supplements don't really help. There's not that many supplements that help with acid reflux. So you want to do a mono cleanse. The food is the most important thing that you can use to help your health with gut health. Food is most important. So doing a mono cleanse, nerve gut acid stabilizer shot from the brain shot therapy list in the Brain Saver books, which is basically either 4 cups of parsley juice or 4 cups of cilantro juice. You can pick either one. For acid reflux issues, people like parsley better. From what I've heard from people trying both, they prefer parsley. So And if you're doing that and then doing aloe and aloe shock therapy, also from the Brain Saver books, can also be really helpful. And doing a mono cleanse, like either potato and lettuce, or peas and lettuce, or bananas and lettuce, and papaya and lettuce. Papaya is also really good for acid reflux. So if you want to try doing the papaya mono cleanse for some time, that might help you. And also remember, in the mono cleanse, you're doing celery juice twice a day. So that extra celery juice also helps to repair the gut. So somebody also asked, can you have GERD without the burn? I think, um, yeah, you can have GERD without heartburn for sure. Okay, so the Instagram questions have blown up. um, let's take a look. What's going on? So much is going on the Instagram feed, and I missed it because I was answering questions. So I'll catch up with that in a minute. Let's go back to our questions that were submitted ahead of time. And so you said you have a loamy. What do you do with the compost? I put it in my garden. Uh, Top supplements for food and bladder pain. For food supplements and food for bladder pain. I just answered a question about bladder health. Please be happy healing for me. Go back and listen to that. What does AW say about eating asparagus for 30 days during spring? If you go to the Life Changing Foods book, in there he talks about how the asparagus cleanse is the perfect cleanse for the spring, where you do a bunch of asparagus juice every day for 30 days, and it cleans every is like spring cleans all of your inner organs. Okay. And remember, it's good for the bladder, it's good for the liver, it's in the liver cleanses. Asparagus is like in the Advanced 369, it's in every meal in the evening. You want to put more asparagus in. So, asparagus is really important for the liver as well. Um, Donna says, sluggish, dirty liver, blood, autism, ADHD on a budget. Where's the best to start? So start by cleaning up your diet. Remove the eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola. Bring in celery juice. Bring in lemon water. Bring in heavy metal detox smoothie, which is part of the medical medium morning cleanse. So you do lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox. If you want to know where to start, I actually have a beautiful course with 7 videos which teaches you how to start with the protocols and where to get started. So if you want that, it's free. Go to my website, download the Roadmap to Healing. It's right up at the top, and you can sign up for that and actually do the 7 videos. And it teaches you step by step how to start, how to get going with all of the issues that you just described. So we'll post the link up for you in a second so that you can actually, yeah, do that one. I think it might help you. So um, let's do that. So let me share this link with you. So this is a link to the course. It's on my website, muneezaahmed.com, muneezaahmed.com. And then you click just on the front page, you'll see it, Roadmap to Healing, in a teal banner, and you can sign up right there. But the link I have posted onto the YouTube, Facebook pages. Okay, next question is from, is it possible to heal PCOS and Hashimoto's? 777 underscore Marina underscore 144. Yes, it absolutely is. Medical Medium has a whole book on thyroid health, so thyroid healing. I would recommend starting there. And a lot of the tools that you will use to heal Hashimoto's will also help you to heal PCOS. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of women heal thyroid issues and PCOS. And Hashimoto's is one of the most common viral conditions that exists. It's caused by Epstein-Barr being in the thyroid gland. So what happens is there are 4 stages of Epstein-Barr, right? Stage 1 is it's silent, it's growing in your system. Stage 2, it gives you symptoms of mononucleosis, which can be high fever, swollen glands, and it can be mistaken for strep throat, or it can be mistaken for a flu. But that's what mono is, mononucleosis. That's stage 2. After it goes down, that's the time that the mono is and the EBV is in your blood. So if a doctor does a blood test and checks in later with you and says, oh, but this was a past infection, what happens is that it's not past, it just moves from the blood and goes into the liver. When it goes into the liver, that's stage 3. it starts to then affect your adrenals, the thyroid, and the liver. And that's the trifecta that most people will come to me with and go, okay, I'm gaining weight, I'm losing my hair, and I've got, um, I'm feeling sluggish. Like my metabolism has become sluggish. And they'll say, my doctor diagnosed me with thyroid issues. So you may legitimately have a thyroid issue, but hair loss, weight gain, and fatigue, which is the other thing people come with, none of those are actually caused by your thyroid being affected by EBV. That's caused by EBV being in the liver, causing other problems. So it's really important to understand the root causes and why they happen, and then you can address them. So, for example, Marina, if you're listening and you've heard me talking about the core seven, the core seven is a really important list to be aware of, right? Start taking the core seven. It'll help you with both. Clean up your diet with PCOS. You have to clean up your diet. You have to get off of eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola. Are you off of all those foods? And if you want to know where to start, again, this course that I've posted right here, which is the healing chronic chemistry on a immune illness. It's a roadmap to healing course. I would start there. Just do those 7 videos. Start listening and start working on it. If you're new and you're listening and you're new and you're trying to figure out where to start with your health, that's an excellent free course to start. It's on my website, muneezaahmed.com. Just go and click on the link and just tap in there. Okay. Um, so Okay. So, is it okay to juice the woody ends of asparagus? I always cut them off, Misty May Gray. All right. Next question is from Sylvia Jones. My teen eats healthy, but craves cheese, and his friends are eat a lot of it. But the vegan store bought cheese are full of unhealthy ingredients. Any tips? Alternative cheese products you like? Yes, many that I like. Miyoko's Miykos Creamery makes a vegan mozzarella that is clean. They also make cream cheeses that are clean, but any of their other cheeses contain natural nutritional yeast in it, so don't use those. Tree line nut cheese is clean. Um, Foragers cashew yogurt is clean, for example. And Miyoko's also makes a pourable mozzarella, which is also pretty clean. You have to read the ingredients though, because some of them don't work. Always read the ingredients. And then I would say Kite Hill, Kitehill, Kite Hill, which is available in many Whole Foods, is also pretty clean. So you can find some pretty clean options. If you want a more gourmet cheese, Vromage, Vromage, they're out of California. He catered and provided cheeses for the royal wedding in England. It's a bit more gourmet, but they're delicious, and he uses no nutritional yeast. He really has them super clean. Fernica Monica, do I have the cheeses on my Amazon store? I do have some of them, but because some of them are cold items, Amazon doesn't allow me to put them on the store. So I do have some of the Miyoko's cheeses on the store. You can go find them there. Okay, so what causes polyps in the colon? Polyps in the colon are often caused by viral and or strep or both. So, yeah. What is the cause of bad breath? The cause of bad breath is often um, a bacteria that's in the gut. Ammonia permeability can cause bad breath. A lot of fermentation in the gut can cause bad breath. So all these combined can cause issues. And the revised and expanded medical medium book with the lungs on it has a whole gut health chapter that I really recommend that you read. So coming back to questions here, what causes bowel incontinence? So bowel incontinence means that basically you're pooping without being able to control it. You've probably got some bacterial overgrowth in the gut, which is causing that. Canaan7246 says, I lost my vision. What should I do? First of all, I'm so sorry. That has to be so traumatic. And I would work on bringing in wild blueberries, the core 7 that I've spoken about multiple times today, B12, zinc, micro C, lysine, cat's gall, lemon balm, licorice root. I would bring in high levels of antioxidants like spirulina, B12, ALA, NAC, CoQ10, MSM are all super helpful. High amounts of spirulina will be also helpful. But yeah, that can be really devastating. And but it is recoverable. So hopefully you can hear this and hopefully get an answer to how to get started. Um, so the whole conversation. Oh, so M.S. Summer Joska. Sorry, I couldn't get that name right. I have extreme breast tenderness and it's like breast hardening. Pain is involved too. I'm not expecting my period, so it's super weird. 2 years and I'm doing daily morning cleanse, lots of raw foods. So I'm sorry that you're experiencing this tenderness. Just want to check in, make sure you're not pregnant or anything, right? So just making sure. And it's been going on for some time. Um, so if you're doing breast, it's like breast hardening. So I would imagine that you have a slight viral flare going on. So if you don't have any other issues, you're not pregnant or trying to get pregnant, then you should be able to do the core 7. Do lots of nettle leaf and vitex berry will help to remove the fluid from the breasts and to help you to feel better. Hopefully these will help. For those of you on Instagram who are looking for the free course, it's pinned right there in the courses. So you just click on it and sign up and join. Is TTZ zeolite harmful to use? It's very popular for autism protocols. It's not helpful. I mean, people say it's helpful, people say it moves the needle. But we know from medical medium that zeolite doesn't really detoxify you of heavy metals. It goes into the gut and can pull anything from the gut, but it's not really pulling anything from the brain or from other parts of the body. So, which is more potent regarding detox, blueberry juice or powder? Juice will always be more potent than powder, but it's still very, very close with blueberry, wild blueberry. Intuitive yoga and healing, when going all raw, is it okay to add a small portion of fat sparingly to at first to help ground? Sure. If you want to do that, that's fine. Um, you can do anything within the healing protocols to help yourself adjust, make shifts, transition. Even like if you're going all raw, adding in some healing broth at the end of the day can be really helpful to help you ground. And also, doing a small amount of potatoes can help you ground better than adding in fat would do, and help you to slowly let go of those cooked foods, and then you'll start to be able to do the raw much better. Can receding hairline be reversed on men? If so, best things to eat and supplement with. So, yes, it can be helped. Adrenals do play a role for some hair loss in men. Some balding in men is genetic, but some of it is also related to toxic heavy metals in men's bodies. Men actually struggle with a lot of issues that have to do with toxic heavy metals. So, getting your guy on heavy metal detox, advanced heavy metal detox, and the extractor smoothie with celery juice in the morning can be a good start to get going. Bringing in extra ashwagandha, nettle leaf, silica, aloe can be helpful for growing back hair. How do you heal costochondritis? Root cause and which protocol? So it would be an EBV protocol, and you have to look at, supporting and cleansing. I would do cleansing like 369 cleanses are super helpful for that. Elizabeth Radska says athlete's foot skin peeling on toes, itchy, but also nails going yellow. What causes this and how to treat? The root cause of this, when a fungal infection takes over, is because the immune system is too weak to handle, um, you know, is too weak to fight off this infection. So strengthening your immune system is important. Bringing in the core 7, cutting out all the no foods and the troublemaker foods, bringing in like um, wild blueberries, nettle leaf to strengthen the skin, MSM to strengthen the skin, silica, aloe to also strengthen the skin and to fight off an infection are helpful. Putting on, you know, I would say doing shaga is very, very helpful for athlete's foot. And the reason you would think, well, Chaga is a mushroom. It's kind of a fungus. Why would you fight a fungus with a fungus? Actually, it's extremely helpful to do to use shaga mushroom to fight off lower, less helpful fungal infections. And even if you have like a yeast overgrowth or what have you, shaga is actually really, really beneficial. And another one is horsetail tea, or say shave grass, is really helpful for dealing with athlete's foot. And you can actually use it by making a tea, and you can wash the athlete's foot in that horsetail tea. Horsetail also eliminates a lot of fungus. I've even put horsetail tea spray on my sprouts, and it stops them from developing fungus. So it's actually very helpful topically as well. Okay, so I hope that that helped. Okay, next question is best foods for postpartum. So for postpartum, sweet potatoes are amazing, avocados, healing broth, potatoes, any kind of fruit, honey, and butter leaf lettuce is the easiest green to eat to get mineral salts. Of course, celery juice, but butter leaf lettuce is the easiest one that won't like give your baby any like won't make the baby gassy or won't kind of transfer into the uh, milk and be too much for the baby. Butterleaf is actually really great for children as well as breastfeeding mothers. Um, so you want to avoid taking iron postpartum. Any suggestions? I would increase your nettle leaf, spirulina, barley grass juice powder, wheatgrass if you can, and also Gaia plant forest liquid iron if you want to do that. Um, so so my newborn has jaundice. I'm doing but not fully. Any advice? So you want to make sure you get your baby out into the sunshine as much as possible, and you can give your baby like drops of celery juice that can help to clear that jaundice as well. But you want to eat clean, so cutting out all the foods. If you're not fully doing then cutting out all those troublemaker foods like eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola, which actually don't help the liver, make it worse. So you can actually make it worse in the baby through the milk as well. So, is it necessary to supplement with nascent iodine if we're having our HMDS every day? It can be if you're dealing with thyroid issues. You really want that iodine in there because iodine is a supplement that gets absorbed by the thyroid, and iodine kills 99.9% of bugs on contact. So, this is really important to bring in if you're dealing with, say, cancer. It's important to bring in if you're dealing with other health issues that are more severe. You can bring in iodine as well. Is wakame healthy as a seaweed? Yes, it is. What is chronic fear? As a child that had trauma and felt fear from everything. So if that's chronic fear, that can be PTSD, and you find ways to deal with that. All right, those are all the questions that were submitted. I'm going to start looking into the questions that were on the feed. So I'm coming into our Instagram feed, which actually has been thriving and hopping. There's lots of questions that I missed, so I'm coming back to them. Inga Hoff says, I'm doing for 3 years. Period pain and heavy period is gone, but now my menstrual cycle is longer than usual. Is it a new viral infection or a more normal thing to have a cycle around 40 days? It's not normal. Probably your body is still adjusting and healing. So I would just keep on keeping on. So I took Vimergy magnesium glycinate at night, 2 of them, and I couldn't sleep. My body was restless. I'm sorry that that happened to you, but try taking it in the daytime. See how you have to test it. One time of taking it isn't going to tell you exactly what that effect was from. It may not even have been the magnesium that caused that. How to stop addiction to junk food and addiction, please. So I have a course, Healing Helen. I have a course on addiction recovery on my website. You can go there, online courses, and you can download that and watch it. It talks about healing from caffeine addiction as well, but you can addiction to junk food, drugs, smoking, alcohol. It works for anything. You have to increase the amount of glucose that is going into your system without fat, lowering fat intake, because fat itself is very addictive. And one of the biggest things about junk food is that it has MSG in it, flavors in it, which are all addictive, and fat in it, which is super addictive. So you want to bring in more healing foods. Like start with celery juice in the morning, and start, instead of like it at lunchtime, do like a big bowl of millet or quinoa or oats, or find some gluten-free bread and start to bring in, if you're really addicted to junk food, the first place to start is to start to bring in healthy grains and lentils and beans and chickpeas, because you will need the heavier food to transition away from the high fat content of junk food. So you start there, and then you can continue bringing in more potatoes, more sweet potatoes, squashes alongside your lentils and chickpeas and beans and other things that you're doing. Bring in cassava, bring in other healing, like, not healing, but like grains that won't make you sick. Those are all important as well. So I hope that that helps you to kind of get an idea of how to start, right? Also, that free course, which is pinned right here, will help you to start letting go of foods in a systematic and an organized way, so that you don't have to deal with um, too many kind of big changes or side effects from the big changes that you're making, and you can make them in gentle small steps. I would say that that is probably the best way. Are oats healthy, Mary Adley? Yes, oats are quite well. Here's the thing: oats are a filler food. So medical medium talks about filler foods. He talks about foods that heal you and foods that won't hurt you. So foods that won't hurt you are millet, quinoa, beans, lentils, chickpeas, grains that are healing or healthier grains won't hurt you, but they're filler foods, so they're not actually going to heal you per se. They won't heal you, but they won't hurt you. So you can definitely include them. All right. So asparagus juice, suggested for kidney stones. Yep, he's done that before. Um, what causes a racing heart at night? Usually, when you have a lot of viral neurotoxic load, Mrs. Saratori, that's when that happens. So coming to our chat on YouTube, um, so which of the following are most important and the amounts? Lemon water, celery juice, fragrance shots, HMDS, liver smoothie. I occasionally get cucumber juice in. I've just completed my 7369. I would say lemon water, celery juice, and HMDS are probably the most important. And then fragrance shot you can do later in the day. A liver smoothie you can do later in the day as well. But yeah, those would be the most important. Um, Another question is about anxiety. And I get anxiety in the evening, been taking lemon balm, but I'm wondering why it is coming up in that time and not too much in the mornings or the afternoon. Often our nervous system gets weaker after 4 o'clock in the evening. So more viral symptoms can show up at that time. Um, Erica says, thank you. Your Thursday lives are so helpful. You always answer so detailed. So happy to help you. You guys know, right? So if you want to go deeper into analyzing a health issue, yesterday we did a 3-hour Q&A call where I was doing like laser coaching with somebody, actually talking to them, helping them figure out a health issue or an issue they're having with their family, and actually helping you to figure this out. So if you want to join and see and check out what membership is about, in our intuitive healing community membership, we do Q&A there once a month, live like this, in depth and detail. And we had so many questions this month that we're doing a second Q&A coming up next week. So look out for that for those of you who are already in membership. But yeah, there's many ways to get help, and you can ask questions in the forum 24/7 in the membership forum. So if you have not tried membership yet and you want more support than you're getting here on this live, by all means, check it out. All right. So next question, what's the best way to fix lymphocyte using Core 7? So lymphocytes, to get more lymphocytes and build up your white blood cell count, you want to bring in pomegranates, you want to bring in cherries, cranberries, you want to bring in burdock root, and you want to bring in golden seal shock therapy and propolis shock therapy. Those will all help you do that. How long do you recommend to breastfeed for? I'm 17 months in exclusively pumping because of terrible hospital birth and postpartum experience. Carolina Fernanda, I'm so sorry that you had a traumatic birth experience. That is something that I think any woman who has that needs to heal from. You want to nurse for as long as it feels good to you to nurse, right? Use your mother's intuition. It was given to you for your baby specifically. So go in and ask whether you want to continue nursing for your child's sake, or that you still feel that you have a place to keep bonding with your child and you can keep providing that nurturing and healing experience. So yeah, please. It really depends. My babies have nursed between 15 months to 3.5 years, so each child is different. Inga says, is every question answered in detail in membership? Yes, in detail. Tommy says, is it okay to put bananas and mango both into the extractor smoothie? Hey, I've done it and it worked great. Okay, next question is can I please write down the brand somewhere? You mean for the cheeses? Yeah, if you go into products, if my favorite products on my Instagram highlights, a lot of the cheeses that I've mentioned are also mentioned there as well. Um, is there a root cause for waves of sadness with no apparent reason? I've been feeling that for the past 2 weeks. Yes, you can definitely have sadness happen. Either you're picking up someone else's energy, like doing the negative energy exposure shot would be really helpful for that. Or you could be picking up, you know, it could be your own depression or something like that. So orange juice is a good place to start, and using any of the brain shot therapies would be also a good place to start for that. Are polyps in the reproductive area viral? They can be viral, yes, often they are. Okay, so next question, because my Instagram I've lost track of Instagram. There's so many questions here. Um, my teeth have more cavities after 2.5 years on with advanced cleansing, fat free celery juice makes me feel hopeless. And will it change if I stay on course? That's a really good question because um, teeth issues that show up today are coming from 2 decades ago or more. They're not showing up because you started They were already having this trajectory of heading this way of having cavities and what have you, whether you did the medical medium stuff or not. Because some things are put into motion a while back, and changing that trajectory, like changing the course that it's on, it's a slow road. If you keep doing the protocols, I would suggest you do keep doing them. They will eventually help you. Ashkian Carmen says, how to fix a mast cell activation problem. Well, that's also rooted in Epstein-Barr and toxic heavy metals and a very, very dirty liver and a very overburdened liver. So you can start by working on those protocols. I've helped many people with mast cell, and people had great results using these tools to help heal. Okay. Um, so if you guys are interested in checking out the intuitive healing community, the link is right here, posted here. So go check that out. Carly Safari says, I have a 2-month-old. When can I start giving him celery juice? He has some fungus thrush and cradle cap. So medical medium recommends doing, hang on guys, I just have to hook this up because my phone is about to die. So you guys on Instagram will lose the feed if I don't do this. So basically, hang on. Oh, there we go. It's charging. Yay. um, so in the celery juice book, he says you can start babies on celery juice at 6 months old. I've definitely had moms who felt like they wanted to start it earlier, and they did. So just a few drops, you can start there, and that will help the thrush and the cradle cap and all of what baby's dealing with, which is all related to a sluggish liver. How long does bloating take to heal? It depends on how depleted your hydrochloric acid is in your gut. When anybody asks me a question like, how long does it take to heal? That's the same as saying, how long does it take for me to get to your house, Suzanne Reedman? What would you say to that? You're going to, well, I need to know where you live, right? So I can calculate the distance. So it's the same thing. You need to know how depleted your hydrochloric acid is in the gut, and how depleted your bile is, and how weak your liver is, and how overburdened the liver is, for you to determine how long it's going to take you. So I dealt with the bloating question earlier as well, and I've got question earlier. But healing, it was part of the GERD acid reflux answer. But the same tools are used to help bloating. So mono cleansing, aloe shock therapy, and nerve gut acid stabilizer. Nerve gut acid stabilizers help many people with like immediate results with bloating. All right, so next question is, how much of the core seven should we take daily? Sorry if you said that already. That really depends on how sick you are. That depends on which symptoms you're dealing with. Say you have a lot of anxiety and a lot of nervous system symptoms or neurological symptoms, I would say take a lot of lemon balm. Do lemon balm shock. If you're having a weak immune system, I would go higher on zinc and vitamin C. But the basic dosages you can take on the bottle that Vimergy has, and just take the recommended dosage on the back of the bottle, right? So you can do that. So so Fernica Monica, can you please add a caption on the YouTube channel to get brand names of clean cheeses? We'll do you one better. We'll do a blog post about them. Okay. Um, The live is so precious. You're very welcome, Benedetta. Thanks so much for being here. Being on for a year, cannot seem to drop weight. Please help. Vicky Garrido, have you worked on cleansing your liver? In the liver book, there's a whole chapter on mystery weight gain and how to deal with that. You have to focus on cleaning up your liver. 369 cleanses are absolutely amazing for that. Um, Christy says, will my body prioritize rebuilding enamel and filling cavities if it's dealing with healing everything else and cleansing my body? Christina, so your body determines the rate and the order in which healing happens because it has its own innate intelligence. As long as you keep feeding it the raw materials, you will see healing happen, but you just cannot predict the rate or the way it's going to happen. Um, for those of you who are new, who are wondering about where to get started, how to get started on healing protocols, my free course, Healing Chronic and Autoimmune Conditions, is the link is right here on YouTube. You can click on it and just sign up. It's free. It gives you a lot of support and help. So somebody asked about osteoporosis and osteopenia. It's usually caused by overacidity in the body. Osteopenia can also have some heavy metal components to it. So you want to make sure you're bringing in a lot of alkalizing foods. So it's cutting out all the toxic foods like troublemakers of eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola, vinegar, coffee have to go if you're dealing with osteoporosis because it will leach all these minerals out of your bones and make them weaker. And then you have to add in greens, and you have to do like a pound of greens a day and build up to a pound of greens a day. Start with spinach soup, bring in the parsley or the nerve gut acid stabilizer shots, bring in extra parsley. You can juice parsley. Bring in a lot more of those types of foods, and it helps to actually heal that. Vaginal atrophy information is vaginal atrophy is basically caused by weakening of that tissue. So it's viral and toxic heavy metals at the root. All right, coming back to our Instagram feed. So, can child obesity be caused by feeding kids dairy? So, yes, it can be related because dairy can actually really overburden the liver and can result in the liver becoming fatty. But often there's other things too, like high meat intake, high egg intake, high fat intake can lead to obesity. Um, all right, so pain in the heel, that can often be either EBV or shingles in the foot. Can I eat chicken sometimes if I'm on the protocol cleansing from heavy metals? Many of my clients consume some animal protein product. So people will do a little chicken once a week, twice a week. Some people do it 3 times a week. Turkey and fish are the best animal proteins to include in your diet if you're going to eat some animal protein. But yes, if you wanted to do some chicken, many people do it. So it's totally fine to include a little bit. Just don't overdo it because chicken and meat can be or super high in fat, so it actually can affect the liver. So just make sure that you're not doing too much of that. Okay. Um, Ashikian says, so I start celery juice for mast cell activation because bananas and oranges and all those things make me react, and I cannot use those. So yes, so what's happening is that you're not actually bananas and oranges aren't harming you. They're actually creating a healing reaction, But the reason you're having a reaction is because your liver's so overburdened. So, yes, you can start with celery juice. And if you cannot handle bananas and oranges, then do something else. If you can handle mangoes, put mangoes in the heavy metal detox. Can you handle wild blueberry juice by itself? You have to break things up a little bit more. People who are dealing with mast cell activation have to treat themselves as though they have food and chemical sensitivities, because they do, right? It's an issue of an overburdened liver. So it's a really important thing to focus on and start to think about it, not in terms of, oh, I have these histamine reactions, but in terms of my liver is overburdened. Start to cut out your animal protein and animal fat, reduce the amount of fat intake, including your plant fat intake, and you'll start to feel like your liver is starting to improve over time. So, um, it does get better. Cleansing the body is really important. If you cannot handle a lot of different foods, then for mast cell activation, sometimes a mono diet is really helpful as well. So look that up as she can. It's in the Medical Medium Cleanse to Heal book. Very low on thrombocytes, what causes it and what to do. It's a weaker immune system. So I would work on building like the core 7 and shaga, and building in those protocols to help your immune system get stronger. All right, guys, we've been going for more than an hour now. So I'm gonna check out a little bit, sign off for now. Sign up to our free resources, sign up to our newsletter. We sent out a very special message in the newsletter this week. If you haven't jumped in on that, any of the free resources you sign up for will add you to our newsletter. So I hope you'll join. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me and doing Q&A with me. It's always a pleasure. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. And yeah, so can you name one food that's very alkalizing and affordable at the same time? Parsley. All right, everybody. Have an amazing time. I will be sending you some notes from being away. I am excited to check out a little bit. I'm going away, going to get a little break for me. So, Freedom Through Spirit says you're super excited to try the vegan Indian food delivery. I know it's oil free, gluten free, vegan. That's a special message we sent out today, this week. If you don't know about this, it's at First Seed Foods. Amazing company, amazing people to work with. If you haven't checked it out, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah. So, Amanda says it's a vacation. It's kind of like a self retreat. I'm going away by myself, just me, to take care of me. So, this is my year to focus on me and to help me um, recover from 3 years of a pandemic. So, I feel like I need a little reprieve. So I'm excited to go away. Thank you all so much. I will see you soon. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye, guys.